Hello, I'm Perigon, here with the FEZ, any percent. FEZ is a fun little 2D but also 3D puzzle game and platformer. I'll get to explain it because there's about 3 minutes of cutscenes at the beginning. So, time will start when I select this speedrun save file in 3, 2, 1, go. So as I said, to start the game there's a bit of just 3 minutes of cutscene introducing you to everything. We get introduced to our character. We'll be controlling Gomez, small little dude down sleeping here. And it starts off as just a 2D platformer, but it does get a bit more confusing later once we get our FEZ, which is the name of the game. But we have to climb up this little tall village thing with houses to actually start the long string of cutscenes. So once the message gets to us. Oh, okay. Preferably I corner kick off that. I'll go into like movement and routes and stuff in the cutscene when I get to it, but here we go. Let's get this platform and mash through a bit of text. So, in any percent, the only thing you have to do is collect 32 of the cubes that are around the map, or around the world at least, and obviously get to the end of the game. And there are two types of cubes you can collect. Anti-cubes and 8-bit cubes. I expect this is a bit loud. Sorry about that. Sometimes audio's a bit loud in this game. But anti-cubes are the simpler of the cubes. You usually just get them for solving puzzles. I might actually turn the value down a bit. That's a bit loud. There we go. A little bit loud. Yeah, anti-cubes you get for completing puzzles mostly, also inputting special codes, which are also sort of puzzles, but you don't need to solve any puzzle to actually put them in. You can just kind of memorize them like I have. And the second kind of cube are 8-bit cubes, which you need to collect 8 cube bits to make an 8-bit cube. Just collects it on its own, and usually at the end of each level before the warp portals. But here we're about to collect our FEZ, which will let us rotate the world around us to make it a bit more 3D. So wait for it to land on us. We won't get to show it off immediately. So a bit of a... You can see, like that. Kinda gotta wait for this to just have a quick mandatory game crash real quick while the cube explodes. And then we'll finally be able to show off. But after a bit of dialogue mashing again, get to show off the rotation. I did not rotate enough. Whoops. That crash sort of goes faster or slower depending on how many times you rotate. I think 4 is optimal. Unfortunately, I must have miscounted or done too many. But a quick game restart. And we'll end up back in the room we started in, but still without FEZ. And have a bit of a different introductory cutscene once he wakes up. There we go. So we get introduced to Dot, who's a little companion who will just like tell us about stuff, and then we've got a number of cubes and where we are, and you know, if there's something we don't know, we can just press B and usually Dot will tell us, which will happen here. Get introduced around the map. Unfortunately, mash through all of it. So you probably won't be able to read it, but it's not really important anyways. That little yellow cube is the cube bit. Those are the 8 you need to create an 8-bit cube. And we'll just go straight into inputting our first code to get an anti-cube. Like that. As I said, they're all memorized. A few of them you do get from solving puzzles, but a lot of cubes just come from inputting codes throughout the map. Meshing, and we're going to quickly go up and collect some 8 bits. And as I said, this is what I mean about I kind of forgot to mention, this is the rotating I mean. It's always in a 2D perspective, but we could rotate to a different perspective of sorts. I've completely messed up that code. I'm just gonna skip that. I was playing this morning. I don't know how I've forgotten the code. Probably just nerves, but there are more than 32 anti-cubes I can collect, so we'll probably be fine, I hope. I don't... Oh, no, there's no requirements yet. I can just collect it later. Do a bit of platforming behind the tower, because it's just a bit faster. Also a bit of perspective teleporting, which I'll get into later once we properly utilize it. Here we go, now we've collected 8 bits. We get a full 8-bit cube, and an achievement with it. So, moving up along, and we're about to move into the first sort of hub world. Got scared that I actually didn't have enough cubes there. A little bit of a hub here. A bit of mashing as well, because Dot's trying to tell us about stuff I already know. Jump a bit precisely there, because there is a small bit of cut dialogue you can hit if you don't jump far enough. But here we go. Here's the first main hub that we'll be revisiting a few times after we complete each little world. First we'll be going to the bell tower, which is sort of the most convenient door to go to first. And I might quickly explain what a perspective teleport is, because it might be hard to explain as I'm going. So, when you're in sort of an indented area, or like an alcove, and rotate your camera, you are teleported to the other, like the back side of the wall. And we use that to our advantage by purposefully rotating in an alcove and teleporting to the side we want, or keeping momentum in a direction. So I'll show off here. No, I won't, sorry. Try that again. There you go. We can teleport around the tower just a bit faster than climbing normally, and solve a bit of a puzzle here with the bell. So donations, this is a bit long, can come in now.
Okay, we have a $39.15 donation from Aggie for ASMM, saying hashtag let's get 4K, 40K.
That's unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have no idea how I'm gonna... Sure. I'm blanking. I'm not sure how I purposefully did like 3 practice runs this morning. But we're moving, so it's fine. That completed earlier than I thought it would, but also later, so bit weird. Move on to one of our first like actual puzzles with Tetris pieces that I don't really understand how to solve. I'm just gonna walk it, you know. In here with Tetris puzzles, where we kind of have to arrange blocks in a certain way to create like Tetris pieces. You can see on this little side of the block there. Again, I don't really know how this solves the puzzle. I just know it does, and the most efficient way to do it, which is like this. One weird thing with rooms like these is if you've already completed it, but reset the run, it'll skip that animation of like coming together, and it'll just like immediately snap into place. But obviously I haven't reset yet, so I can't show that off. Thanks, Dot. Now, one thing that hasn't come up yet, but I might as well mention, are black holes. They sort of just get in the way and kill you if you get too close to them. That is a space where we really just don't want them. Thankfully, we didn't get them. It's usually best to just, like, completely walk in and out of the level again. But you probably see them soon-ish. They come up quite often. The latest I've got is, like, maybe halfway through the run before they appear. Moving on with the bell tower, or from the bell tower now, they're still called, like, the bell tower split, into probably one of the most perspective teleport heavy areas. Well, it's just gonna be like perspective teleporting area, perspective teleporting everywhere. So I guess if you could try and keep up, I guess. Eventually to get to the top of that with that little flat piece of metal, which will eventually be a portal that we won't actually use, but we'll just collect the cube bit from, or the 8-bit cube. So make sure we have enough speed to make that jump. Unfortunately didn't get a good corner kick. I could also explain the movement while I'm at it. There are 2 ways of like, or 3 ways of going up corners. There's one of just normally mounting it. Corner kicks where you just like press A and hold a direction. And inward corner kicks where you kind of kick but then go inward. It gets progressively harder, and I'm missing a few of them. But here I'm going to collect an extra cube for the one that I missed in the beginning, unfortunately. It's a bit of an awkward cube. I'm not surprised I missed it, but it's also supposed to be a muscle memory, so unfortunate. I might actually do that one first now that I think of it. Nope, okay, I promise I'm like pretty decent at this game. Okay, there you go, finally. I was pressing some wrong inputs. We're gonna collect a quick cube through here with a tuning fork. Just because one's quite on the route. No, I didn't mean to jump there. That's fine. Tight jump there. We can move on to a quick tuning fork puzzle. You're supposed to kind of feel the vibration in your controller to know how to rotate that. But again, memorized. And we can actually move on to the normal route. I should have enough bits for, yep. The not intended route, but the normal speedrun route. Well, we're going to be performing one of the major glitches that saves like a ton of time. There's black holes. They're in the way, that's lovely. Called an 8-bit anti-cube, where we sort of cancel out the animation of an 8-bit cube while collecting an anti-cube, and it duplicates the cube. There you go, kills you. I'm going to try and sneak through. There you go. Surprised I hit that first try. But here we're going to collect a specific amount of 8 bits. Oh, yeah, 8 bits. Oh, cube bits, sorry. To finish our cube, but one less. And do a quick setup that I hopefully don't fail, because I used my backup cube. Nope. That should be it. So we're going to collect these both at the same time, and hopefully, yep, we still have that 8 bits above our head that haven't been collected. But we've also just collected 2 extra cubes. It's got some stuff to do with like how forced collection works with the 8-bit cube that I'm not really too knowledgeable of. Here we go, just collect the cube that we duplicated. And move on to Arch, which is pretty much the purely movement split. I don't think don't input any codes. So I guess here at the beginning, if there's donations again, you can read them out.
So we have a $20 donation from T-Hurst3rd saying, Perigon got way too good at this game, way too fast, lol. Super happy to see them show off this epic game at AusSpeedruns.
Sweet.
We also have $20 from Rafa Rooney saying, neat, smiley face. $77.80 from Tim Trollgasm for their ASM pledge, and $50 from Kate Latte as well.
Yes, hello T-Hurst and Raf. Sorry T-Hurst for this maybe scuffed appearance of the game. I'm doing my best, and you know I can do better, so. But we're moving on to a pretty much entirely cycle-based level here, where we're going to try and climb it as fast as possible. I won't be hitting the fastest cycle, which is Wilco cycle, named after Wilco, because at one point I think he was the only person who could hit it. I might be wrong. But I'm just going to try and climb it fast. Try. Vine climbing's a bit awkward sometimes. Also, corner kicks. Because this specific sort of corner kick, you sort of have to hold one direction for a frame, then release it and put the other way. But I think that might be inward corner kicks. Either way, they're a bit difficult, and I'm kind of failing them all over the place, unfortunately. But that's sort of what they're supposed to look like. You sort of slightly hop up, barely missed the cycle there. And inward corner kicks are more visible because you gain, hopefully, a lot of speed like that. And go inwards. That's Arch, a pretty simple level. Do I have yeah, pretty simple level, no codes that I can screw up. But we're going to be going right back into that with tree, or the tree split. But we're back in this world due to the teleport. Quick, while we're going. And rotate, we kind of want to rotate the camera before we get in that level, because you kind of can before it loads in, just so it's more convenient on us. On me. And climb up here. And we're going to strategically rotate our camera for this next code to make sure we don't walk off or walk back into the door. I can't avoid sort of ledge grabbing now. I haven't found a setup to avoid that. We use these little bouncy mushrooms to get up to the top, and hopefully, with enough speed on this next one, skip having to do another bounce, or at least a setup bounce. Barely. No, okay, I missed that. Usually you can try and cut in and bounce right on the edge of that mushroom, and just ledge grab immediately, but unfortunately I missed it. Gonna try and do quite a tight jump around there. There you go. I think the best way to do that code is to slightly ledge grab, well, not slightly, to ledge grab on that little ledge. And so because when you're holding onto a ledge, you can't rotate. And so if sorry, I'm supposed to be ledge grabbing on some invisible platforms. Should probably mention these are supposed to be solved by a puzzle. You get given a map that tells you where they are. I kind of forgot that wouldn't be completely obvious. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of jumping on the middle of air. There's something there. It's not a glitch. And I've forgotten what I was saying before. So we'll just move on. We're coming up on also another... There are 3 8-backs in this run that get progressively more annoying and hard to set up. One includes the longest code in the game of 16 inputs. But this one, no, not coming up here, but after this little Tetris puzzle, is called a double 8-back, which sounds hard. For what it's worth, it isn't the worst, but given my luck with entering codes, I'm not too hopeful. But again, solving a quick Tetris puzzle, and again, this one I'm even less sure how it gets solved. I assume you just fit one of the little things up there. There might be something on the side that you have to mix or match. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I just speedrun. I don't really solve the puzzles. But in here, we're going to be setting up the double 8-back, which includes just spawning a ton of anti-cubes. Again, make sure we're just one qubit away from collecting an 8-bit cube. And here we go. I'm going to stay a bit silent because it's a bit confusing. Okay, I think we got it. That's fine. If you'd asked me about 3 hours ago, I probably would have told you I failed that. Unfortunately, thankfully, I hit that in practice. It still hit the double 8-back despite not collecting one of the cubes, because it doesn't necessarily have to do with the anti-cubes, but it kind of does. We just have to be overlapping it to sort of get a cutscene animation skip, not cutscene. But should collect. We kind of collected one. I'm not entirely sure how the double 8-back works. If you collect one of the extra cubes during the mashing, but either way we collect one of them just to know we hit it. And head into this room up here. With these doors, if you do a sort of sidestep like that, you exit the door and enter the door a lot faster, which is obviously a bit useful to speedrun. Because without that, you have a long animation where you're like walking through the door. I tried to show you, I accidentally hit the little sidestep. But now there's usually a long animation that you have to wait through that we can sort of get past. Just a quick little cube, because it's on our way. And head down to these little, I'm not really sure what to call these, vines that you can sort of deploy of sorts with these little, can't think of the word. These, you spin them, and they make the vines come out of the walls. Not that many times. We can climb them and just platform around the wall, eventually. There we go. Usually when you want to do 2. That's better. This one we have to actually hold to give us a bit more time to climb up this vine instead of rotating it twice. Should give us enough time. And hopefully... Nah, okay. The fast strat there is to sort of ledge grab on the edge there and corner kick off. Unfortunately, I missed it. We want to put a mid-air code there while we're jumping, just because it's just spamming basically 2 inputs over and over again. That are the movement button and the rotate button, so very convenient to input while we're in the air. And barely don't take full damage there. I think that's probably like one tile away from taking full damage if you jump. And coming up to the edge, end of this split. Not really split, the end of this level. Stop calling it splits. We've got one more little code we have to input in here, which we will do another little efficiency thing. That's the whole you can't rotate while on a ledge. And because I had like 3 rotations, but because I was ledge grabbing and climbing up the ledge, it didn't let us rotate, but it still registered the input for the code. These little things, they kind of throw you into the air. That's literally, really the only place you'll see them in this run. So here we're going to do some navigation through, multiple portals here to go all the way back to that original hub, because that's got the next level we need to go to, the lighthouse. So rotate around here and quickly go into that one, head right back to the hub. And the lighthouse, the 8-backs have quite drastically changed the route over, I think, the year since they've been discovered, including lighthouse, where normally in the old route you would collect but in the waterfall you'd lower the water to collect some extra cubes, but we don't need to do that anymore, so it's a fun little routing difference. We put code while I'm going through the door, so because it's got multiple up inputs, and up also sends you going through a door. So ultimately you input that before. And just, once again, some fun perspective stuff to go through the level and collect all the things we need. Anti-cube that we spawned just before. And, oh no, sorry, I'm messing up my own levels. Next level is another cycle-based level that's a lot tighter, where there will be multiple rotating ladders that line up once every second cycle. So optimally, we're not going to show it here, but you can quite, no, not terribly hard, to climb up to that top ladder. You do have to get on there immediately, but after you get on there, it's pretty nice. Unfortunately, I kind of missed the up input to climb on the ladder, and that sent me flying not on the ladder. Yeah, so donations, again, kind of just more repetition, so got time for them.
We don't have any donations at the moment, but we are AusSpeedruns, a group raising money for Game on Cancer through speedrunning marathons. Currently we're sitting at $30,485.30 raised for Cure Cancer.
Sweet.
This event.
Oh. So once again, more invisible platforms that just go all the way up to this chest. Pretty easy, because they're quite wide, and you can see where they are if you ledge grab them. And now we're coming to the end of Lighthouse, and hopefully into the second to last world. If I mess up, it will become the third. Thankfully, I've hit every single 8-back so far, so I won't have to collect any other extra cubes. And on pretty alright pace for cubes, not just for time, but it should be under 30 minutes. Giving myself a bit of leniency. So this is the place we were not long ago. Old Zoo. I haven't been really naming the levels. I'm pretty sure this game has story. I haven't kept up with it like most games. I think this is like an old version of the place we were before, with like teleports and whatever, and having to go through that door to get to here. But we're coming up on the final 8-back, which is my least favorite, and I have terrible consistency with. Probably will fail, but I will have hope in here. It's also got like a really awkward setup, which makes it worse. Okay, there you go. Unfortunately, because we collected it, there we go. Okay, the one time I have everything failed, I get it. So we are gonna have to go grab a cube from earlier. Unfortunately, loses about a minute, but not much I can do. There's no other cubes in this level we can collect, so we have to quickly backtrack a little to a classroom, which, with how codes have gone, knowing that I only learnt this code like this morning, I think I know it. I think I'll be fine. But yes, this was, I think, the first room to be obsoleted by 8-backs, because, you know, to load this long cutscene to grab pretty much one cube, which is all the way up the back, and then just leave and go to the next room, so pretty obvious ones just kick out of the route. But once we get control here, we'll rotate our way over through these ladders and into the classroom, where we will hopefully be collecting the final cube, if I remember correctly. Yes, okay. So there you go. On the side you can see 32 cubes, which is what we need to complete the game. Which technically on your save file says 100%, but there are 32 other cubes you can collect plus like relics, so the full actual 100% category is 209.4%, which I am not doing today because I don't know the route, and obviously it's any percent. But we can head over to the final area, which will be, well, not technically the final area, but head towards the final area, which will be the moon. Which we have to hopefully not ledge grab on literally everything. That would be lovely. But into this door with 32 squares on it, which obviously we have 32 cubes to fit, and start this cutscene of the portal. So I might explain what's about to happen. We're about to be sent to the moon, which has pretty much everything just slowed down, so low gravity, slow movement, slow rotations particularly, so that's slower. So we want to be rotating as little as possible, and it just so happens if you climb the tower as fast as possible, because it's pretty much just a tower on the moon and we're done. If you climb this tower as fast as possible that I know of, there could be a faster TAS route, but if you climb as fast as possible, you don't need to rotate, which is pretty much as slow as it's going right now. So the goal is to get to that little white rectangle at the top in that cube above the owl, and yeah, hopefully we hit turnless, which is what the cycle's called. Not necessarily a cycle, more of a trick. It's also very precise, and I will likely mess it up, because ledge grabbing early will send a long animation, which will probably mean you miss it. You jump too long multiple times, you'll miss it. Miss a ledge grab, you'll miss it. Fall and you'll miss it. There's just so many things that can go wrong. I have gotten generally consistent, so there is a chance. I'm obviously hoping for it, because it's cool not having to rotate. But yeah, so I'm going to go silent for a bit here, because I do require a bit of focus to try. Because yeah, timing is a bit tight. So, yeah. Donations if you want as well, because I will not be saying anything.
I'll just take this as another this moment to remind us again that we are AusSpeedruns, raising money for Game on Cancer, which is a group, or a charity, funding early career cancer research.
So, by the looks of things, I have done it, which is cool. Yep, there you go. If we get here, perfectly aligned to hit the white cube, and that's turnless. So that's, like, pretty much it for the run. What's the time? 20? Okay, that's not terrible. It's just a bit of cutscene. We get reintroduced to that big cube that sort of exploded in the beginning. Right there. And we'll fill him up with the cubes we've collected. But you'll see that we only have, you know, half of it, because you only need half to complete the game. I don't actually know what happens if you can collect them all. It might do something different, might not. Either way, mandatory game crash, once again. Once it spins a bit and starts breaking the display, there you go. Just a bit of... takes its time. Mash through like little bits at the beginning, and time will come. Time will be when I end up on the other side of this door that I'm about to walk through, which is the one we've walked through at the beginning twice. So time will be, once Gomez decides to wake up again. There. So yes, that's any percent of FEZ. Thank you for having me a second time here. To show off FEZ, it's a really cool game. I recommend playing it casually. I don't think I really spoiled any, but like 3 or 4 puzzles. You'll have a lot to solve on your own. And yeah, if you want to speedrun it, we have a Discord on speedrun.com linked. So yeah, thank you for having me, and yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you very much for that run, Perigon. So for all of those of you on site, could we please get everyone non-essential out of the stream room and the practice room? We are doing a little bit of rearranging, and we'll get you back in here before the next run, VVVVVV, run by me, Stan. This is the end of my host shift, so I will catch you around in a moment when my run starts.
Hello, hello. We're just getting ready up in here. We're rearranging the room a little bit, as you can see on the screen. We'll be up and running momentarily. They're just throwing chairs. That's what I'm seeing right now. Thank you. Alright, while we're just filtering in, I'll just let you all know, I'm Lacey Stripes, I'm your last host for the stream. We do have a donation, $63.79 from Danica, which says 1 cent per death per 10 kilometers walked as promised. Good luck, Sten. We'll be up and running in just a moment. We're just going to let everyone sit down, get comfortable, and then we'll watch some VVVVVVV. All right, let's get all started. We've got Sten here with VVVVV, no OOB. Go take it away, Sten.